On the 25th of September 2021, myself and Lee had a 3-leg trip to Rutland Water up here. Then we went over to, then we refueled at a BP station here, BP garage, refueled there. Flew on to Wingland, got some more fuel, had a chat with the guys up there and chilled out for a while. And then we flew all the way back down to St Ives. So really great trip. So saw some really cool sights on the way. There's an airfield here. Over here there was the prisoner of war camp, which is interesting. We also saw some old buildings at Barnwell, an old castle. We saw an aqueduct, which was surprising. I didn't expect to see that. Some more old RAF airfields, Kirby Hall. So, here's where the viaduct is. It's called Welland Valley Viaduct. Then we carried on up to Rutland Water. I've got a friend who lives in Oakham, so I buzzed over there. And past this Burley-on-the-Hill, and past Exton Hall, another manor house. There's manor houses all over the place, and airfields. And so then we landed at BP. So this blue one is the first leg of the trip. The second leg of the trip, unfortunately the GoPro died, so I'll show a few photos. It's the orange line here, which we went to Wingland. So Wingland we chilled out and then refueled. GoPro worked on this final leg, this pink one, all the way back down to St Ives in Cambridgeshire. So yeah, mammoth trip. 7:15 in the morning, off on an adventure with Mr. Jackson. How you feeling, mate?
Tip top. Conditions are A-OK. Ding, ding.
Perfect conditions. Wing laid out. Let's do it. How much fuel are you taking? All of it?
Brim it.
Not sure why Lee's wing tucked like that. Maybe a line got caught or something. So I'm going to get launched, and I'm not going to hang around for too long. Lee's wing is much faster than mine anyway, so he can catch me up. So I'm going to get launched and get on our way. We've got quite a long flight ahead of us to the refueling point. So I'm just going to get going. So I've been looking forward to this flight for a few days now. Been planning it out. Conditions are great, although the cloud is quite low. I was hoping to maybe get above it at some point, but the cloud cover is quite constant. There are not many breaks in it. So got my coffee, I'm going to enjoy the flight. So this here is Sawtry prisoner of war camp, housed several hundred Italian prisoner of wars in concrete prefab buildings. Spotted this sunflower field, so I thought I would come down and have a cheeky fly low over it. No power lines around or people, so that was quite fun. And this is Barnwell Manor and Castle, a historic former home of the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, built in 1586. We're now approaching RAF Deenethorpe, which was constructed in 1943 and assigned to the United States Army Air Force. They flew B-17 Flying Fortress from here, conducted heavy bombing raids, including preparations for D-Day. And close by is Deene Park, built in the 14th century and largely owned by the Earls of Cardigan. Not too far away is Kirby Hall, built in 1570 and bought by the Lord Chancellor to Queen Elizabeth I. It's now mostly ruined except for the Great Hall and the staterooms. So as we were flying along, we didn't plan to see this, but ahead is the Welland Viaduct. It has 82 arches and each a 40-foot span. As we were flying over, there was a microlight craft. You can't see it at the moment, but you can see it in a second. So we kind of turned away a little bit, and the microlight guy kind of kept his distance, so that was all good to avoid a collision. So this apparently is the longest masonry viaduct in Britain and was completed in 1878. These days it's used mainly by freight and steam train specials, but is also a secondary line for the East Midlands Railway. Pretty cool. Yeah, it's really fun flying along the viaduct. be really, really great if there's a steam train on there as well. Maybe I'll look up the steam train timetables and come back someday. This here is Rutland Water, which is the main kind of destination for this whole trip. A very large reservoir which provides water to the East Midlands area of England from the River Deene and the River Welland, and has lots of sporting activities and leisure. I've got a friend who lives in Oakham as well, so I thought I would buzz by. Oakham is just on the edge of Rutland Water, so I thought I'd pop in and not land, but just kind of wave down to my friend Richard. So hi Richard. So this building here is called the Park on Burley-on-the-Hill, and was used for first class cricket in 1790. Very nice. And not far away is Exton Hall, which is an Elizabethan mansion which burnt down in 1810 and is now a ruin. The present hall was built in the 19th century, close to the original ruins. And just down there is RAF Woolfox Lodge, and this was originally a reserve landing site for RAF Cottesmore, which is not far away. It was used in World War II from 1943 and had 3 tarmac runways, and closed in 1954. So we've been flying now for 2 hours 15 minutes, and we're looking for some fuel. So before we left, I did plot 5 different filling stations on the map between Rutland Water and Wingland, which is the next destination. So I thought we'd come in for a landing. The field to the right there, the one that Lee's landing on right now, looks the favourite one. There's no obstacles. There are some power lines on the edge, so we're just kind of thinking, what are our options? What's the wind direction? Where's the rotor coming from? Are there any trees that are going to give us any turbulence, any that kind of thing? How far is the walk to the filling station? And it turns out to be an ideal landing place. So we come in for a landing, have a drink, refill our paramotors, and then we head on our way to Wingland. It's our next stop.
Bit of ballooning going on there. Could possibly go wrong. Awesome. How cool is it?
You wouldn't know it from this video footage, but there is actually a fuel shortage going on in this this time. This is the second day of the fuel shortage. It lasted about 10 days to 2 weeks long. And we did have a little bit of anxiety coming in. That's why we plotted so many filling stations on the map. So if this place didn't have any, we did have some other options to go to, but we were just hoping that they would have the fuel we needed. Luckily for us, everyone seems to be wanting diesel, and that diesel is out on a few pumps already, so we put in the super unleaded, which they had plenty of, so that was lucky, I guess. So we've got our full tank of fuel. Unfortunately the GoPro didn't record any of leg 2, so I've just got a few photos here. So we took off from the BP garage field and had about a 50-minute flight, and on the way we saw a load of detectorists in a field, which you can see down there. That's their kind of campsite, so it's quite weird to see quite a few fields just covered in people looking for bits of metal. So and then we spotted a pumpkin field and did a cheeky low fly over that on our way into Wingland. So when we landed at Wingland, had a cup of tea, had a chat with the guys there, and just relaxed for an hour or so. And then once we'd refreshed ourselves at Wingland, we began our 2-hour, 20-minute flight back to St Ives.
2 to 2.5 hour flight now.
Looks nice. Brimmed almost.
Brimmed, little wind. What could possibly go wrong? Mucking up my air. Cheers, Tilly. See you guys. See you next time.
Safe one, buddy. Take care.
My knee just gave way. I've never done that before. My knee gave way. I was like, ooh.
After spending some quality time in the warm sun at Wingland, we decided to make our way back for our 2 hour and 13-minute flight back to St Ives. What an awesome day of flying. We did 5 hours and 20 minutes flying in total, over 120 miles, and used 29.5 litres of fuel. So an epic day. If you enjoyed it, then hit that like button. It helps other people to find the channel. And I'm not going to show much of the flight on the way back. Most of the interesting stuff was in the first and second legs. So hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. So there's the landing site below, and just going to do a turn, come round, come in for a landing. Lee decides to go and fly over St Ives town for a while, and then he comes back about 5 minutes later. So here's my landing. So after I landed, I checked my fuel tank, and I did have 6 litres of fuel left in it. So I did put about 5.5 litres in at Wingland, so I could have made it back and had about a litre to spare.
Here he comes. Oh yeah. Beautiful, look at that.